Hi, this is Dr. Kimberley Linert. You're listening to Incredible Life Creator Podcast. My guest today is Veronika Gold. Veronika Gold is from Czech Republic. She has lived for 5 years in Ontario, Canada. She studied music and the flute in high school. She is the mother of one kid, Maximilian. Veronika is at the beginning of creating an environment where everything is protecting and healing by itself. In the summer of 2018, she lived with Green Somavedic, and from March 2019, she was Gold Somavedic. And we're going to get into what that is because I don't even know what that is. So, welcome to the podcast, Veronika.
Nice to meeting you here. Thank you for asking me to be here.
Yes. And I kind of like met you through Facebook, and what attracted me is those lights. So you have all those lights behind you, beautiful lights. And my background is in behavioral optometry, and one of the tools I use is syntonic light therapy. We use light therapy to heal the body, the vision, the whole person. And so that really attracted me to you. And so I kind of said, hey, you want to connect? So, but just so everyone can know about you and learn about who you are, why don't you tell us where you came from? Because you do have a little accent there. So, where you came from, how you started out, and how you got to be doing what you're doing today.
Okay, so I came from the Czech Republic when I studied music, playing the flute. And the music is it's going through my whole life. And then I moved into the Canada with my son and with my partner. And I started to discover the Somavedic. And in 2018, I had only the green one. And by the time when I experienced how the environment changed in a time and space, I added more and more and more to evolve in time and space, kind of. And each of them has a little bit different properties to heal. Like you mentioned it, some of them are also for the healing by eye. They are even nicely decorative, kind of luxury thing. And some of them even I use for the healing by touch. The ruby and cobalt. And for the environment itself, any of them change the atmosphere in the environment. And that's what do they do.
Wow. So, for some of us, actually, most of my listeners are from United States, 87% at this point. The rest are from everywhere else, 3% from Canada, 1% from UK, the rest from everywhere, Dubai, whatever. So most of us don't know what it's like growing up in Czech Republic. So why don't you explain to us how was your life there?
Oh, Czech Republic, it's middle of the Europe, and many people name it heart of the Europe. And so people are really kind of maybe working on the open heart. So environment is there kind of, it's similar like here. It's not much different. And technically I have not much to say. I just studied there and lived there, and it just passed. For me, it's a past, which is in a certain way kind of closed.
Got it. It's closed there. So how did you end up in Kitchener, Ontario?
My partner wanted to explore something new and different, so he found a job here, and we moved with 1-year-old kid in here. And since then we are kind of like exploring the people and the people here, and the environment is different in a way that people are here more easygoing, more slower. I would say the speed is slower in here than in Czech. So even that environment in Czech is more speedy than in here. It's slower here.
Got it.
Like the Canada, the environment of the Canada.
Yeah, and I was telling you before we get on the podcast today that I grew up in Port Huron, Michigan, which is right across from Ontario. And every year our band, I played the clarinet and the bassoon,
cool.
But I didn't play the bassoon in the marching band. But in the marching band, I played the clarinet. And every year our high school band would go to Kitchener, Ontario, where you live.
Okay.
And we were in the parade there for the Christmas Thanksgiving parade. And so I have fond memories of where you are. And where I lived, there's a big bridge going from our town over to Sarnia, Canada. So to me, Canada was almost like the same as our country, because we go over there to have dinner, we go over there to do things, they come over to our side, we went to their side to go shopping. It was a lot of fun. And so I know where you're living is a beautiful, beautiful area,
I'm
wonderful area.
very happy to hear how the world is getting smaller and smaller and more connected in certain way.
Yes, yes, it is so beautiful. So yes, I have fond memories of that. It's just a little cold up there for me. I'm down in Georgia now. But just beautiful. So now I see those beautiful lights behind you, and you're saying this word, you told me how to say it, Somavedic,
Correct.
but I don't know what that is. What does that word mean?
Well, that word, I don't know what the etymology will be, but I can tell you how it works or what is inside or what it does. So inside of those units are stones, gemstones, precious, semi-precious stones, and some metals, and they are put in very specific configuration. The top glass, which is the UFO shape, makes expand the energy from the stones out. This technology, the way how it's made, it neutralized the EMF. It neutralized the 3G, 4G, 5G. It neutralized any Bluetooth what you have around or any frequencies what are in the big bunch of EMF. That it also helps with the geopathogenic stress to neutralize it. If we have under house any crosses, any water or some pipes, there was a digging, that environment was, the energy flow was interrupted. And that interruption for some people who are more sensitive might cause problems with sleeping or some headaches, problems on a body level, whatever. And in that moment, to neutralize it, we can move the bed around the place, or we can have something in environment what neutralize it on our body, so we have better sleep. Some of the units also have special configurations of the stones to do the structuring the water. Structuring the water, as the Masaru Emoto did study, he freezed the water and he realized that the shape of the snowflakes are very blurry if they are without memory or if the memory is not correct. Then he was praying, affirmating the water, singing to the water, sending some frequencies to the water. Then he took the pictures again and realized that the snowflakes are very nicely shaped. They got the perfect memory of itself. And because in the cities, we have water pipes which are straight, and the water is not sparkling and doing the vortexes. That's the reason why we are kind of drinking the straight water with different memory than if we structure it. Once we structure it, it helps our body to detoxify faster or heal faster and change on a body level.
Yes, and I know we're going a little esoteric here, but it's actually quite studied and there's research behind it. So I have a friend that lives up in Tennessee in the mountains, and he has a greenhouse with the biggest, most beautiful tomatoes you have ever seen. And one of the things he does, he has a picture of beautiful tomatoes and he looks at it every day, and he goes in his greenhouse and he looks at it to visualize these beautiful tomatoes. But he has this system set up where he has these big tanks of water that sit on the ground, kind of like barrels. And this barrel is full of water, and it's connected to all these little pipes that go through the greenhouse, and they water the tomato plants. And what the barrel has on top of it is this crank. And he does like this with the crank. He moves it, he turns it around and gets the water going. So there is a vortex in the water. And then once there's a vortex going in the water, he turns it on. So all the tomato plants get sprayed with this water that's basically energized.
Exactly.
And so this might be really different for a lot of people, but I have to tell you, the proof is in the evidence. The evidence is his whole greenhouse was full of these gorgeous, red, juicy, the best ever tomatoes. So there's something to having our water energized. And if these Somavedics can energize the water the same way that a vortex can energize the water, and if it can make the tomatoes that good, then think about what it can do for our bodies.
Yeah, thank you for very, very specific words. It's very nicely said. Yes, absolutely.
Thank you. Yeah. And so I'm kind of curious about the different lights behind you, because you have many colors. So and you said you started with the green and then you went all the way to the gold. So you started with, why did you start with green? What does green mean to us?
Green is the most universal one, which includes many in one, including structuring the water, including the neutralizing up to 5G, including the geopathogenic stress. And it's the most popular one, and even enough strong to cover really the whole house up to 200 feet. It does that environmental change. For the structuring the water, you keep it nearby 20-30 centimeters for 10 minutes. And that property is that you might feel it by taste of the water the most. So that's the green one. Those who are more kind of like only for the EMF, that's the Medic 5G or Medic Sky. Only for the EMF or the geopathogenic stress and harmonize the environment. It doesn't do the water. So sometimes people are choosing, so would I like the structuring the water or not? And it depends, then the price is also then changing, because more it knows, the price is higher, kind of.
And let's talk about the EMS. So this is my phone, but I have this cover on my phone, and this cover is supposed to protect me more from the EMS, because I don't want to take this and put it by my face, by my head, by my brain, because I believe that when people wear those earpieces, they have a higher risk of getting brain tumors because they have this sitting on their head. Or if you sit all day with the phone on your ear, or even against your body somewhere, that you're going to have higher risk. And so I have this, it's not perfect, but here's the phone, in this case just covers it, so it helps a little bit. And then when I speak on my phone, I try not to put it to my ear. I try to always put my speaker, hold it away, don't hold the phone. So talk about the EMFs and how they affect us.
They affect us. The frequencies are all over the place, and they are going through us. And some people might have headaches or digestive problems. Some may not even recognize it, that it's this. I am more and more sensitive with each and every month of my kind of like evolution. So I am happy to have something what protects me on a more global level. there are some dots what you can put on your phone. There are some papers what you can also use as a local protection. It's a local protection, let's say a few centimeters or 1 meter around you or around that phone. It covers only that small part of your environment. This one covers 100 feet to neutralize those frequencies who are going and waving through your environment, but it neutralizes it on your body level. So the body level starts to clear those things what normally would deal with, like the protection, because the body is protecting itself through those waves. So it's dealing with those waves to protect itself. If we take away those waves, neutralize them, the body works on a different things. And what I like on this Somavedic is the guy who invented it in the Czech Republic. He did the studies and he has the certifications. And it's possible to find it on the somavedic.ca, somavedic.com, anywhere. If you will search for the Somavedic, you can gain even the scientific proof how it works, that it works, and what's the benefit of it.
So that first one you were talking about, the one on the left there, so it would really be great if people could have them in their office environments, because think about, some people have offices and there's computers everywhere. There's all that. So if, in case you're not understanding what we're talking about with EMFs, electromagnetic frequencies, and they're the ones that are not beneficial to the body. You can even get it from a microwave, but you get it from the phones, you get it from the computers, electronics. And so all this is going in our, secretly, transparently happening around us. We don't see it like we see a light ray, but there's still rays going through our bodies, going all through our environment, and they can actually hurt our bodies if they're not those beneficial ones, if there's really high amounts of them. And so if you had that in an office setting where all those computers are, I was in Japan several years ago, and we went to visit someone's office where they were working. And I don't know if everyone knows about how Japanese culture is, but they tend to be like to stick together really close, like big groups, and they're like really, really close to each other. Well, I went into this office and I've never seen an office like this. It was a huge room, not like a bedroom room, like a bigger than it was, I don't know, 20 feet by 20 feet at least. It was very big. I don't know how to say it. And they had one desk after another, just one desk after another. You could hardly walk between the desks. There was that many people in there. There's probably 100 people in there. And they were right next to each other, all on computers. I thought, oh, that is a disastrous situation there. Because think about all the EMFs, think about all the stress from the lights and the people and the noise. So if they had one of those, that would be helpful.
I am very happy to hear the word Japan, because if I'm not far away, 1 year or year half, the inventor of the Somavedic was in there. And Japanese actually were very happy to that this entered their environment.
Oh,
and yes, they have the distribution center in Japan as well. And I heard the short story that at the beginning, the Japanese are kind of like bowing a little bit. And at the end, when Ivan showed this, they were bowing.
Like a big bow all the way over.
So
yes.
Low.
Like giving him honor for bringing
Exactly.
that. Yes. Yes. In case listeners don't know, when it comes to bowing in Japanese culture, I know this because I was married to a Japanese national. So many years ago.
World is small.
Yeah, world is small. Yes. But the person who bows the lowest, the other person is higher esteemed or more honored. So if I were going to go visit someone who is older than me, or in some way they're status is higher than mine, I would bow I would bow a little bit lower. And I was taught to, as you bow, you don't notice it, but you look a little bit with your eye to check to see how far they're going. And you make sure if they're higher status than you, that you're going a little bit lower. It's very important. In fact, I remember this several years ago, it just stood out to me. President Obama went to Japan to visit. And when he went, he bowed a little bit lower than the other statesmen. And he was getting criticized for that. They're saying, you're not lower than him. But I'm thinking he was just being honoring to the other person. So it's not really a status fight, it's just showing honor. And so that's so interesting that after they had this and they were bowing just a little bit, that they actually bowed very low to show how appreciative they were, how honoring they were of this technology. So beautiful. So what other colors do you have? So I see a bunch behind you. Do they all do different things?
Yeah, those two, I'll call them twins.
Okay, say what color they are, because some people are only hearing by voice. They're not seeing the colors.
Ruby, red one, and very, very dark blue, the cobalt. And the ruby helps with the heart opening relationships, abundance, root balancing, kind of, esoterical stuff, let's name it. But overall, people, if for example have a yoga studio and want to more heart open environment, that might be option. And the cobalt, the blue one, dark blue, it helps a lot with the left right hemisphere, connecting the brain. Those more esoterical one would understand the third eye and crown chakra and throat, to speak your truth, to open up from the throat higher and up.
Beautiful. And it's so important for those two right and left sides to be working together. So my background in behavioral optometry, that's what I was doing, is working with people's brains to get them to balance. And so if those aren't connecting with each other, you have a very disjointed person. They're not functioning well, even from just a day-to-day life.
And they do the same like this one. They do all of. The difference is that at the end, they have little different things to do. The same like this one does includes the structuring the water. This one includes those properties what I mentioned a few minutes ago.
Okay, wow. And then what other ones do you have?
Those two above, they are the amber one. They are two the same. They have just different colors. One is like a champagne, like it's more like a honey. And it's something much stronger than the green one. Many people who are highly sensitive or have many big studio for making videos, or have a lot of pollution, or 5G towers around, or strong city, it might be option to choose something stronger. Or those who wants to evolve faster and deeper in the evolution. And the last one, well, the gold one is with me from 2019 March. I bought it for my birthday, and that's the top one. Very specifically put in condition only for me and my family. So when you choose to go on the path of really quick evolution and very deep environmental cleaning, then the gold one might be also option for you. But it's personal preference. It's not for the overall kind of, it's really personal preference. Yes, that's the best way to say it.
Yes, and the wonderful thing is not only are they cleaning the environment, they're healing They're beautiful. And if you're listening to the podcast, you can't see the colors. I'm going to refer you to, this will be put on YouTube. So when the YouTube video comes out, you can see the colors, but it just looks beautiful. The presentation of these Somavedic lights with the stones in them. So, someone might even use it for like just decorations, like to make their
It's
house
very
look
neat
more beautiful.
decoration.
Probably very expensive healing decoration, but beautiful.
Yeah.
So how do you use these in your work? Are you working with people with those? How do you use them?
I recently I use them more as a background to bring that healing energy as well into my music. So actually, I think that I will choose this small part of our conversation to play for 2 or 3 minutes on my flute to let it's like a meditation. Just let it settle down. Close your eyes if you feel so, and let the music to wash away anything what is in your life to find that balance in the environment when you are now.
Okay. Oh, that is very calming.
And that's the best way how I can express rather than by words what is my healing modality to the world right now.
Yes, beautiful. So people come to you and you play for them?
I can offer that in this situation when everything is online. I have songs what people can purchase. I'm working more and more to do new songs to create bigger bunch of those things to distribute them, to send them out through the 5G internet, which is helpful on one side, and it's up to us how we balance it, how we harmonize this opportunity to have it in such a quick speed, how to effectively use it.
So you're using the Somavedic to remove the things that are not beneficial to the person, to the self, to the body. And then you're using the music, which is another frequency, harmonizing frequencies of sound. And sound healing is a whole nother area that, again, might be new to a lot of people, but you can actually heal the body with light. You can heal the body with sound. Different kind of frequencies can be very healing and can be very detrimental. So using that music, all sorts of different tones can change the physiology of the body, can change the balance of the body, the emotional balance. It actually balances the fight or flight base as opposed to the relaxation end of the spectrum. In light, the relaxing end is the blue end, and the if you wanted to be more toned or tightened, you would go towards the red end. In music, I'm sure there is a way where you're doing that, where certain tones are going to certain parts of the body, certain organs, things like that.
Yes, it's the theory you are putting into the words, the theory of itself, what it does. Some people need to hear it, this theory. Some people likes to feel it, this theory. Some people likes to sense it, this theory. So whoever wants to sense it on their body, so they are, I'm here for them. I'm not the master of the word, so I'm very happy to hear your sentences, how they are nicely telling what I am able to express only by music.
Yes, yes, and it's
helpful.
so beautiful. So thank you. So if people actually wanted to purchase some of your music, where do they go to find it?
I have my web page, veronikagold.visionaryheartinfo. For the beginning, the shop is in process of co-creation. It's not completed yet, but anytime if someone emails me, I can communicate and do whatever needs to be done to provide or to send out the links for the music what I offer.
So what are the different things that people use the music for? Why would they, besides that it's beautiful and you feel it, and I could feel it changing the physiology as you're playing it, why would they come to you and get the music? Is it if they're feeling sad, if they don't feel good, if emotional, or they just want to feel better and expand their what they're doing? Why would they come and listen to the music?
Wow, it's important question. Possibly anytime, because sometimes we would like to relax and that music brings us the relaxation. Sometimes we would like to get out of the sadness or go through the process of the sadness. The music take us through that process. So it's more kind of like play that music anyway, anytime, in any circumstances in your life what are, because each time if you even repeat it, it brings you something new and something more what you need. I tune my flute for the 432 hertz, so it might be different than the classical flute, which makes even difference in the frequencies and in the sound at the end. So that healing from this perspective might be different than the classical flute.
So when you work with people like virtually now, because we're not doing too much in person, but if someone wanted to work with you virtually, with the flute, how would they do that? And how,
I would set the Zoom meeting. We will choose the time frame, if 30 minutes, 15 minutes, 45 minutes, or 60 minutes is enough. And by the conversation, we would probably get what the person is working on. And in the safe environment, they will probably just lie down or sit down into their chair. And I will through the Zoom just send that music and that what's supposed to be sent it to the client and to the person who is interested into such a healing modality.
Beautiful. So they could, do that with you, and they could also go on your website or email you and get their own copies that they could listen to over and over again.
Yes.
Yeah. And then with the Soma Vedas, I know I'm not saying it right, Somavedic. Um, so do you sell any of that, or you just use it?
I use them, and if someone is interested into the Somavedic, go on a web page of the main somavedic.ca or somavedic.com. Mostly people will go probably for the .com because it's for the USA side kind of, or the American one. Mm-hmm. And any information, including the certification, including the prices, are over there. And there is so much more. I just told very, very little about what everything it can do, because once you plug it in, it's in your own environment 24/7. So I send you something through the Zoom for 15, 30, 45 minutes, whatever, but what the rest of your day, what the rest of your week, rest of your month. So if you choose some deep environmental clearance, mm-hmm. it's nice option to, it's like buying the TV or buying the car, buying the house. That's similar way I would understand the Somavedic in the environment.
Beautiful. And I was just thinking about your music. I had someone on here that he is a singer, and every week he went to this hospice place where people basically were, they were on their last days of life, but it was kind of set up like a small, house with several bedrooms. And, these people were, a lot of them in pain and towards the end. And every week he would stand in the hallway, and he has this gorgeous voice, and he sings these inspiring songs. And he was a Christian, so he's singing songs about God and eternity, and just so healing for these people on their last time. And I thought to myself, when I was listening to that flute, I thought, oh man, if I really wasn't feeling good, or if I was in that situation where, things could be very painful, just listening to that flute would be so, I don't even want to use the word healing.
Soothing.
So yeah, I think it could even, take some pain away as you're listening, as it kind of like takes you away to a different place. So if this place where I'm at right now is hurting, the flute could take me to a different place where maybe it's not so painful, where maybe I can concentrate, or I can listen, or I can enjoy the beauty of the sounds just for moments, almost like a retreat. Yeah.
Thank you for those nice words, because I have a goosebumps. You were only talking about that person who does it, and it's a gift. It's a gift if someone has such an idea, mm-hmm. and bring that idea into life to do that, to materialize it.
Yes. So do you want to share with us anyone that you've worked with and what their experience was when you play the flute, and what their experience is?
Technically, this is really start up with the music, with combination of the Somavedic and everything. So I am bringing all of my knowledge together. But experiences from the previous time when I did the hypnotherapy courses for myself, and when I needed to do some hour training, many people mention it, that my voice and the way how I am in the room, it very calms them down in certain way. The voice is also helping them to go through. And I think that with the flute, it's gonna be the similar, because it's the me what I am sending out.
Beautiful. Yes, thank you so much. So just switching gears to a different question here. What gives you the most happiness and fulfillment in your life right now?
Music,
Mm-hmm.
music. Because the same way as I am down, as I feel down, it's the music what helps me. Frequencies, listening those frequencies, or playing the flute, or creating the music, so I can send it even further, so it's not stopping in this body, so it can go flow away.
Yes. So it's your legacy. It's what you're contributing. It's your gift to the world.
Yes, something like
Yes.
this. Yeah.
Beautiful. I'm just curious, when did you start playing the flute?
I started with recorder,
Mm-hmm.
with the flute up here, and I was 6 years old. And flute mostly kids started around the age of 10 or 11. And it was actually a very hard time. Like, that breathing is very specific, and I had a lot of headaches.
Uh-huh.
To
But
learn the body to go through that process, actually it was a tough time.
mhm. Yeah, it sounds like it could be, because I played the clarinet and I couldn't ever see myself playing the flute. You need a lot of air to play the flute.
You need to hold a lot of air for a very
Ah,
long time, and just little by little to send it out.
oh, that's the secret. Okay. Because yeah, the clarinet's a reed instrument, so you just blow into it, but you don't have to hold anything. You're just blowing all out.
Mm-hmm.
So the flute, you're holding a lot of air, and then you're just, so that takes a lot of control
Yeah, yeah. A
to
lot
do
of
that.
control on a body level. Yes.
Yes. And there's so many kinds of flutes. So I've seen the little itty bitty flutes, and then I've seen quite large ones that sound not even almost like a flute. They're so low. So what flute are you playing?
I'm playing just the typical regular. It's flute,
Mm-hmm.
just the regular size. You were mentioning the piccolo,
Uh-huh.
the very tiny one, and there is alto,
Mm-hmm.
which is bigger one. Mostly the alto one has also the head is little bit in a U shape,
Mm-hmm.
and basso is the really biggest one.
Yeah, so you can get all sorts of sounds through a flute. So, yeah, well, thank you so much for, the gift that you're giving us and the people around you and yourself.
Thank you.
So, yeah, and what is Maximilian? That's your 1-year-old?
He is now 6.
Oh, he's 6. Oh, I got confused.
We
Okay.
we moved
Oh,
to
okay. So
Canada
he's
when he was 1 year.
okay. You came here when he was 1 year. So, what is his reaction when you're playing the flute?
Uh, with the flute, I started to discover more of the flute 1 year ago again, because I had a part of my life when I didn't want to play anymore again. The way how high school was teaching me to do the performance really put me so down that I, for 3-4 years, I didn't play at all. So when I'm starting little by little again, it just kind of like, yeah, he takes it. He understands when I need to take the time for myself to in quiet place play, so he doesn't disturb me much.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of co-creation.
Beautiful. Well, thank you so much for being on the podcast today and for sharing your music with us. And Somavedic is just so beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you for inviting me. It was very pleasure.
Yes. So I have one last question before we get off.
Yes.
Um, What is your best advice on living an incredible, amazing life?
Be yourself and enjoy your self-evolution.
All right, beautiful. Thank you so much, Veronika.
Have a wonderful day.
Yeah, we'll talk to you again soon.